Welcome to Stateside Gooners, an Arsenal FC show, the podcast where American Gooners get together to share insights, rants, and the latest on all things Arsenal. I'm Eric, joined by my co-host Matt, and every week we're here to break down the highs, the heartbreaks, and everything in between as we ride the Arsenal wave from across the pond. Here we dive deep into the nitty-gritty of what's happening on the pitch and beyond. Whether it's those nail-biting match recaps or the tactical decisions we're all debating, we're covering it with the intensity and passion of fans who live and breathe the red and white. From big-name transfer rumors to some of our favorite deep-cut Gooner trivia, we keep it real and relatable. So grab a tea, coffee, or pint, settle in, and join us on Stateside Gooners as we bring a fresh American perspective to our beloved Arsenal. Because win, lose, or draw, this is where our Arsenal family meets. And hey, if you're enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share it with your fellow Gooners. Your support helps keep this Arsenal conversation going week after week. Let's kick it off. All right, back for the second half. Let's talk about the other.
Yeah, as we said, there were two Man City Arsenal matchups on Sunday. We talked about the men. Now let's talk a little bit about the women.
Boy, it was real similar, wasn't it?
Crazy.
In some ways.
Absolutely crazy.
In some ways.
So our starting lineup, pretty much what you would expect. Sleegers. What did you see from Sleegers pregame? Because I think you were able to watch some of this.
I don't know.
More than me as far as highlights go. I was able to catch highlights of this.
I did not see. Well, so I don't know. I think maybe what you're referring to in my notes is they were taking video during the game of Sleegers. And anytime that they were taking these videos of her and showing her on screen, she was so relaxed. She was sitting down. She's leaning forward. I'm interested in what's going on. Her eyes were constantly moving, darting back and forth, looking at the offense, looking at the defense, looking at the midfield, looking at where their goalie is. But she really wasn't saying too much. Maybe she was kind of talking to her assistant. I don't know the guy's name, talking to her assistant, her Stuyvenberg, if you will.
Mm.
I'm not saying that Arteta is bad. I'm just saying it's different. It's so obvious that she has a different kind of faith in her players that are on the pitch than he does because he's standing up there, orchestrating, waving his arms around like they're in the pit of the orchestra and she's not, man. I see her late in the game. She was there and she was standing in the coach's box and maybe shouting to somebody, but it wasn't directions about like you go here with the arm waving and stuff. It was more like, hey, don't forget, or tell so and so. It was for like 10 seconds and that was it.
So different personalities coaching from the sidelines. Game starts off, kicks off.
Slow
I don't
start.
know. Can you score a faster goal?
Apparently you can because somebody scored in the men's league in 10 seconds. It was the second or third fastest goal ever in the Premier
Wow.
League, and it happened this weekend. So apparently you can, but this was quick. It was 30 seconds.
Unbelievable. And again, listeners, it's a turnover from Man City, and Mariona just guides it into the under the far post, 1-0.
She did all the
14
work.
seconds in.
She closed
Yeah,
down. She
she
stole the
closed
ball.
down.
She dribbled in. She
Hmm.
curls it. It was beautiful. The whole thing. It was nobody
Yeah.
else. It was just Mariana.
Yep. She celebrated. That was great. And then what happens? We double down.
Well, and again, it was her, right? She got fouled. She was doing some extra work. She got fouled. We have a free kick. I looked away. I was like, oh, free kick. Here we go, and like nothing's going to happen. So I look away. But then,
Oh, Wubin Moy, unbelievable crashing of the far post, takes a pretty good knock from the goalkeeper in this sort of collision, but just hammers the ball into the back of the net with her head. It's a great, powerful header.
and I don't know what she was doing, the goalkeeper. Like, you don't normally see when the ball's that far. The ball was like a little bit out, maybe 7 yards out, and to the left, to the goalkeeper's left. So she went a long way to get out to that, and you miss it, and she just looped it. She didn't even like bullet. Like I didn't think it was a bullet header. I think it was a little bit more looping than bullet, but she put it over top of the keeper, whatever you want to call it, and she had no chance at it. So like if she was back closer to her line, I think she just puts her hands up and catches that ball.
Hmm. And instead, she made the mistake of trying to come out and claim it. Hmm.
Right after that, like seconds after that goal, Blackstenius has a beautiful chance, and she makes up for it, the keeper, the city keeper, by coming out and really blocking that opportunity. But
Oh, and then what happens?
well, like we know, they get one back. So
20-minute mark. Big cross. Fowler heads it far post. And I think in this case, the goalie could have done better as well.
Ben Domslar probably could have, but
Hmm.
she did. From her perspective, I can imagine that you don't exactly know how far that ball is going to go over, and maybe when you're looking at it, you're looking to your left as it's coming across from the keeper's perspective. Somebody should be there covering Fowler, and nobody was there, right? They were behind, like Saliba was behind Holland, our
Yes,
defender, and I think
correct.
it was Williamson was behind her, and she makes a little jump, and it's clear. So maybe Van Domselaar could have done something, but it was a really nice header and good for her.
And yeah, this was a game that Viv Miedema played in. For those of you that don't remember, Viv is quite the player for was quite the player for Arsenal. So yeah, she's playing against us. She's got a chance.
She, by the way, real quick, she's the reason we have Sleegers, maybe, right?
Entirely possible. Right. That is
Because
entirely
yeah,
possible.
because he talked about uh one of the reasons that
Jonas.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jonas, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jonas talked about how one of the reasons that, he brought in Mariona was because we couldn't have her, Mariona, and Miedema. And maybe
Yeah.
that didn't go over so
Not
well.
sure.
But
Not sure why
yeah,
we couldn't have both, but
Miedema
okay.
missed the chance. She had this opportunity to pass it off to somebody and instead did like a 180 shot, and it wasn't really a great shot. But you know what? The announcers were like, but it's Miedema. Like that's what you're gonna get when you have Viv, you know, she's gonna take the shot.
You
So,
bet.
well, how long did it
Think she
take
can
for,
make it.
yeah, how long did it take?
Well, 50-minute mark just after halftime. And Mariana did it to their defender. Miedema does it to our defender.
Mm-hmm.
Strips the ball away from her. Clean shot, ties it. We're at twos. And Miedema, to her credit, doesn't really celebrate. I've never understood that as a player. I think goals are so rare. I would celebrate every single one, but
Wait, did you say goals are rare?
goals are rare for me.
Maybe not this weekend.
Not this weekend, but they're rare for me.
So they're tied 2-2. What are we gonna do now?
I have no idea.
But your
Well,
girl,
51 minutes. 51 minutes? Do you want to do something? It's unbelievable, this game.
they said it was a minute and 7 seconds.
What a response. So, Maanum, my girl,
Your
I
girl.
love her. I
I know.
absolutely love I love watching her play. Slots the ball home. Great goal for her. And the other times I've talked about her on this podcast, I've talked about how she's just no expression at all on her face whenever she scores a goal. This one, oh my gosh. I've never seen anybody so excited. She was thrilled. She ran over to our little corner of the stadium where our fans were. She's celebrating with them. She was excited, and I don't know why, but this is the first time I've ever seen her celebrate a goal. Most of the time, it's just stone
It,
cold face from her.
it's a big goal, and it happened a minute after Miedema scores. So I mean, we're up 2-0. She brings it back 2-2, and then Maanum scores. I'd be pretty happy too. But it didn't take long for them to draw even, and I think it was kind of a BS foul.
Oh, it's a terrible call.
It wasn't a BS foul, but it was a BS, and they don't have VAR. So fair enough, they don't have VAR. Refs can make mistakes. She was probably 15, 20 yards away, and the foul happens. She runs towards the location of the foul, points to the place where the foul happened, and then points to the spot. The foul started 2 yards, 3 yards outside the box. And I think when the player saw, and she's the one that crossed for the first goal to Fowler, I think when she saw that that's where the line was, she kind of a little bit of shithousery, step,
Oh, she jumped.
fell
Yeah.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, you jump into it.
yeah,
Sure.
and so it looked like the foul happened there, and it was so quick. How was she? How was she to know?
Oh, but this is just so typical. It was just it was a really, really bad call. And, to make matters worse, it is on the wing, essentially. I mean, she's not even in a scoring position or a shooting position. This is way on the wing. So that for that foul to happen and be called like that, it was just, gut punch. So penalty kick,
Ring,
Fowler,
ring it up.
yeah, it's 3-3.
Well, Blackstenius missed at 9 minutes, and I really think she should have had that. And then she had a couple of other misses, but she misses a pretty just I don't know. At 68 minutes, if she had a left foot, I think she gets this because the keeper was literally outside of the box on the left hand side, and there was nobody to cover. And I've never seen women players do it, but I'm convinced that they have. But we've seen a ton of guys that are outside the box and the keeper's away from the line and they shoot it, from 25 yards or whatever it is and get the angle right. She didn't try to cut back. And by then the goalie had dropped in. The defender had gotten there. She cuts it back on her right foot. It's blocked. And then it's picked off and then it goes the other way. So I was a little disappointed in all of that. Um, Not long after that, I was worried because Mead, right outside our box, the Arsenal box, little bit of dark arts, to sort of steal a ball. She sticks her leg, kicks her foot between or like between the feet of the city woman, or
Mm,
whatever, gets the ball. Their legs come together, and then she kind of just pushes her down. So they get this free kick, and I was like, oh man, like
rats.
this, yeah, they're gonna
This is
get
it.
some here, and they didn't. And not long after that, where do we go?
Yeah, so, we've been talking about Blackstenius here, some of the misses that she's had in this game. A 78-minute rolls around. Mead, what a terrific cross. That does a lot of the work. Blackstenia still had a lot to do once the ball got to her because it's a difficult finish. But boy, that pass, that cross was a terrific one. Low to the ground, right in front of the net. Blackstenius finally comes good. Scores a goal, 4-3.
It was interesting to me, the cross that came into Fowler in the 20th minute was in the air,
Hmm.
and then the one that Mead puts across is on the ground. But if you really kind of look at those two goals, other than it being in the air and on the ground, the flight or path of the ball was very similar,
Mm,
and either put in with the head or put in with the foot. I mean, it just there was like a little bit of a mirror there for me, and I liked it. I liked the way that Mead used the skill of curling that ball around both defenders, but not putting it so close to the keeper that she could just come out and intercept it. It was like in that golden zone that she probably couldn't do that again if she tried 5 times or 10 times. It was perfect.
yep.
So
That,
Blackstenius pulls what was like kind of Kai, right? Kai in the men's game
yeah, you
misses
bet.
that
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah,
chance. He
yeah,
drags it
yeah.
wide early in the game. Blackstenius misses early in the game. Kai comes good late in the game, gets a goal. Blackstenius comes good late in the game. That's the game winner.
And
She
this is the
scored the
match winner.
game winner in 3 of the last 4 games against City. She always scores
What a
against
gr
City.
That's great. No wonder she was up front.
Player of the game has to be for me, Mariona. Well, we're going to talk about this in quick things, but she is so influential. I don't know how you could take her off the pitch. Again, she had goals, she had an assist, just
Yeah,
amazing.
just a real terrific performance by her in this game. Big high profile game.
So where are
Just
we at?
so where do we stand? We are now third place, folks. We're now 3 points behind United. They're in second, 10 points behind Chelsea. We've got 13 games completed right now. We do have 24 games, so there's still a whole bunch of football to be played. And if you looked at the schedule between now and the end of the season, there's a lot of winnable games. I could see this team going on a nice long win streak in the league.
Well, we don't play Chelsea again, so hopefully all of them.
Yeah, we don't play Chelsea. I think we have one more game against United, and it's the last game of
That's
the
yeah,
season.
that's pretty much going to
And that's the
be
one.
if we can win all of them, and then let's just one at a time, one game at a time. But yeah, well, we do it all again on Thursday. This time it's at Meadow Park and it's the FA Cup. So I don't know what to say. So a little bit of a mea culpa from me because when we were talking about this game last, last episode, I was saying that we we didn't have a women's game on the weekend against City. It was in midweekend. It was the FA Cup, and I don't know how that wasn't on my calendar. So
Yeah,
mea culpa.
we gotta get better calendars or
I do a thing
better
where
internet
I
sites.
go on the website, I go on the arsenal.com website, and you can pull up the schedule and you can have them send it to your Google Calendar or to your Apple
Mm,
Calendar. So on my Apple Calendar, it's all there. All the EPL games and all the Arsenal women's games are on my calendar that I look at and any appointment that I have, whatever, it's all in there so I can see what's coming up. And that one didn't show up on my calendar. So
that is
anyway,
really weird.
so let's jump into some quick well, so we do it again at City on Thursday, and I don't know what else there is to say. I don't want to cut that opportunity short. We gave Newcastle at the Carabao Cup a few minutes, but we know what just happened. We know it's not going to be an easy game. The benefit to us is it's at Meadow Park and not at their stadium, Joy Stadium or whatever it is. I think that's a big benefit. I think having, the 4,500 that are going to be ours, or 4,000 that are ours, and 500 that are their, supporters is going to make a difference. I don't know what else to say. It's the same thing. We're going to have the same issues, the same scenarios. They want to further themselves in the cup competition. We want to, especially since Chelsea's likeliest to win
Yeah,
WSL.
at this point, the league is gone. But there's all these cups to play for. There's the Champions League that I just cannot wait to see who we draw in the Champions League next round. That happens on the 7th, which I think is Friday. So that'll be the draw. We'll see who we wind up with. So excited about the remaining chunk of the season that the women are going to play. Lots of meaningful football there. Lots of it. And interested to see how Sleegers plays out this string now.
Right.
Really interested to see how she finishes this year. And, we want to finish, remember, folks, we want to finish top three, top two if we can, so we can avoid sort of those play-in games for the Champions League next year.
So thinking about our quick things, one of them is that immediately after the amazing performances here that we've seen from the 18-year-olds, the news is out that they're up for new contracts.
How
So
about
I
that?
am not surprised that is really not news at all.
I don't know if you been seeing any of the pictures of those two when they were in like the academy
Oh yeah.
together? Like they're two 8-year-old kids sitting side by side. I saw that picture and just thought, wow, that's tremendous.
They used to do that, and
Both
they
of
would have
them.
pictures of Saka and ESR, kind of
Oh,
coming
right.
up, and maybe they're 10 or 11 or something like that. And I mean, they're always great pictures. But do you want to do your quick thing, or you want me to finish?
Oh no,
finish what I had off.
let's go through what you've got here,
Well,
the
hold on.
similarities in
I
the
just
game.
everything went away.
Oh, well, I'll go ahead and do.
Nope, I found it. I found it. I'm good. So there were some similarities between the men and the women, I thought. Both teams won against Man City. Both teams played against Man City. Both teams won against Man City. Both got a first goal very early. The women in the first minute, the men in the second. Both came from a right center back mistake. First, in the women's, they got Mariona caught her out of
Mhm.
possession and finished with the right foot to the far post. For the men, Trossard pressures the right center back Akanji. His pass results in a little touch by Tross, deflects straight to Rice, who one touches it to Havertz, who lets it run past him, and one touch passes to Odegaard, who one touch shoots into the net.
Lots of
So
one touches.
a little bit, but that one touch, the four single touches, the deflection, touch to touch goal was incredible. But both with right center back mistakes, both very early in the game, both 1-0 early leads with lots of goals scored. So the women scored seven, the men scored six in the games. Arsenal scored nine combined, City four combined. I just thought that was fun.
Fun.
Both teams gave up a goal and then immediately took back the lead. So after they tie the game 2-2, within 1 minute, 7 seconds, Caldente puts Maanum through. She puts it away, Arsenal 3-2 up. After Holland uses his big head to score a goal, Thomas steals that long, ill-conceived pass from Foden.
Yeah.
I write his he had a forgettable game and scores a 20-yarder from like a minute later. So we talked about that. Technically, that goal was the game winner.
Yeah, that's true. It was the game winner. Yeah.
So both strikers miss big chances, but score later in the game. Big chance missed by Havertz. He scores at the 78th, I think.
Yep.
And then several big misses by Blackstenius, but she scores the winner. So we didn't have Ford on the bench or in the game, but we have Ford, Foord, and City have a player named Roord, Roord, who played in the game. So I'm not sure that's a.
I think we're stretching that
We
one.
are. Both teams have a number eight that were very active in the midfield press, pushing their team all around them to be better. So Mariona, number eight, goal and assist. Martin, number eight, had a goal, leads the press. So I like that. Both sets of Arsenal supporters towards the end of the game were olaying every pass. So that was fun.
It's always fun to start the Olays, but you don't want to start them too early. You really don't, because then that can wear on a team.
I think when you're 4-1 up, you're probably okay.
I still have to pinch myself.
I
Think that
should
yeah,
have,
4-1 up against.
I should have made
Cliff.
both sets of Arsenal supporters chanting Olay, number seven, and number eight, both
Would have
teams.
been number eight.
Number
That would have
eight. That
been, yeah,
yeah,
that would have been,
I
yeah.
screwed that one up.
Oh well.
So you got something about
So here at home,
yeah.
in the States, we have the National Women's Soccer League, the NWSL. They awarded a new franchise to Denver. 110 million for this franchise.
Wow, that
Got some of
seems
that
like
laying around?
nothing. No, but that
Yeah,
feels like
about
not
that.
much for a
It
franchise.
doesn't? Okay, I
The
don't have
the
that.
well, the Dallas Cowboys, Spanky's favorite, and I send him memes all the time about how bad they suck, by the way. They're worth 10 billion or 12 billion.
Yeah, but they own that stadium. He gets all that revenue.
Yeah.
He's a clever
So
business.
110 million. I mean, it's a lot of money for me and you, for a lot of people.
So the interesting part, one of the interesting parts about this is Caitlin Clark. Now, does anybody know who Caitlin Clark is? Do you know who Caitlin Clark
She's
is?
the most famous women's NBA.
Easily one of the
Yeah.
most famous women's basketball players.
And she's leaving our not only her team, Indiana, but she's leaving the country to go play somewhere else.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
As soon as their season ended, she announced it. She's going to go somewhere else. She's getting out of her contract because there's too much press for her in this country. Some
Wow,
of it good, some of it
too
bad.
much pressure, too
I
much
don't know that it was too
stress.
much pressure, just too much BS. She was
Yeah.
kind of like, so I don't know if that changed, but as soon as their season ended, because they didn't do well in the playoffs,
Ah, right. Okay.
they lost their first round. She's gone.
Wow, I did not know that. So. Colorado, Denver is also home of an MLS franchise, the Colorado Rapids. And guess who owns the Colorado
I
Rapids?
know the answer to this.
Do you? Okay.
They're my favorite team. They're the team I root for. I don't watch MLS, but they're the team I look for in the
Is that
standings.
right?
So
They're the ones
I
you
know who.
follow?
Yeah. Well, there's another reason why I know this too, because I'll get to it when you say who it is.
Well, it's the one and only Flat Stanley. Oh, sorry. Mr. Kroenke. So Stan Kroenke owns the Colorado Rapids.
So he owns lots of teams in our
Oh, it's
country.
crazy.
So he owns the Los Angeles Rams, but
Hmm.
he owns the Colorado Avalanche and the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Rapids. So the professional teams in Denver, he couldn't buy. It's a shame he didn't already own the Rams because I think he would have probably preferred to maybe have the Broncos at the time when he
Huh.
bought the Rams because all the everything was there, having all the teams there. So yeah, in fact, I was going to ask you if this is his team and Caitlin Clark's a little bit of a part of the bid. So it's interesting that it's not because 110 million, we spend that on one player. So to have a
You
whole
bet.
franchise for that,
It was surprising to me. Because when I saw that Denver was awarded this team, I thought for sure he would be the owner. But as you looked at it, no, he's not even part of the bid, which seemed a little silly to me
it
for a guy that owns so much in Denver.
surprising to me that who's your DC investor that owns Lille and
This is Michelle Kang
Yeah,
and
so
the London City
and the
Lionesses.
London City, we got to put them in every week.
Yes,
See how I did that?
it's a
Actually,
pitch.
we play them after the women play them after this. They play them on the weekend or next week or whatever. So
Yep,
yeah,
they play them soon.
um, it's interesting that he doesn't have multiple teams around Europe. Flat Stanley.
Yeah, that's not part of his operations right now. Maybe someday.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, awesome weekend.
But what a terrific weekend.
I'll tell
What a
you what,
terrific Sunday. Yeah, I guess it was Sunday. What a terrific Sunday. That was just absolutely perfect.
it
Great
was
games, great goals, so many goals.
all
So
the
many
goals.
goals. Yes, and we had all of them. Lots of fun.
And you know what? We didn't get any complaints about
I don't know.
from
What?
Mikel.
Oh, right. We did. Well, but it's not the Carabao Cup. That's the one we're coming up to, right? That's the one where he complains about the balls.
The balls
He doesn't like the balls in that one. He thinks they're what? They soar for him?
fly. I don't remember what he said.
I can't remember they
Anyway,
fly.
I couldn't pass up the opportunity to say it.
Oh boy. Yeah, so exciting game this Wednesday. And then we're off for a bit.
Really?
The men are off for a bit. I saw that they're off until the 15th
I gotta look at
of
that.
February, which seems to me, since we've been playing every 3 or 4 days, that's a nice long
Feels like a
break for
holiday.
these
Oh, because that's
guys.
what everybody was saying. We need to go back to Dubai during this break.
Ooh, as long as Benjamin goes along with them. He needs to work on his tan.
He works in a stand in London. He doesn't need to be in Dubai. It's really funny. It's really funny. That's really funny. Let me look at this. Let me look at this. So February 5th. Oh, that's my dad's birthday. Or would have
Hmm.
been. Would have been. He would have been 81.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
15th. So that's 10 days. I think we did 8 days in Dubai last year, if I remember correctly. So there's definitely time to take the 6th, fly on the 7th, fly home on maybe the 13th, and take 6 days. So you get yourself right time wise to go up to King Power. Yeah, it's possible. We'll see what they do.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to Stateside Gooners Arsenal FC show. Every episode, we bring American Gooners together to dive into the emotions, the tactics, and all the action on and off the pitch. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your fellow Gooners to keep the Arsenal conversation going. Until next time, from across the pond, this is where our Arsenal community meets. Win, lose, draw. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody.